Okay, we are recording. Hi, everybody. So I'm back. And remember, last week I promised you guys that I was going to be on the hot seat the next time I did a newsletter. So here I am. I am with my incredible friend, Siddiqi Ray. I'm in Ecuador. She's in New Zealand. And you guys probably saw in my newsletter, and you'll see down again, I've been a part of Siddiqi's programs in visibility. She's an incredible visibility expert. And over this last year, I've been really recognizing how much I have allowed myself to stay like behind the curtain, stay, behind the camera. I'm really good at creating spaces and opportunities and projects that support putting, the light on other people and change makers. And over this last year, as I've especially started my side business that I'm doing with supporting people to alchemize their limitation beliefs and physical things that they're dealing with through plant wisdom. I'm helping them with that, and then incorporating that into the TV show that we're doing with Awakening Giants and all of that. I've been recognizing how much I haven't put my own self out there, that I ask our Awakening Giants to be vulnerable on screen and to share everything, but I haven't been doing that. And so Siddiqi challenged me, and I'm like, shit, okay. So here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, so here we are, Siddiqi. So let's go for it.
Let's go for it. So first of all, Spryte, thank you for this opportunity, and kudos to you for your courage to step forward and even ask the question without knowing what the answer is going to be, and for being a great role model, because I'm sure that your women, your giants, are also role models for other people. And I can't help but think that they too have a hard time stepping out from behind their genius and their zone of accomplishment that they offer in the world, and like actually putting a stake in the ground for, this is who I am, and this is what I do, and this is the transformation I offer, and the vulnerability of that. So kudos to you for being a really great role model for that, and thank you. So you took the visibility archetype quiz a while back. Do you remember what you were?
Yes.
What archetype you were?
The Alchemist.
I thought
amazing.
So, because, right. And this is why I bring that up, because you just mentioned alchemizing for your clients. And when we first started, the alchemy was not front and center in your mind. And so one of the things that I want to say is, I've noticed you go from really hidden to really owning your magic, your alchemy, and bringing that forward into the world and into the visibility so that people can see it, which is really the goal of my work with visibility, is to help you to really tap into your superpower strengths and express that more in your visibility, because it empowers you, it gives you the power. And so you've taken that power as the magician, as the alchemist, and you've brought it forward. So now what? Now, what is the most important piece of magic that you might still be hiding from your people?
Okay. So
what is like little secret sauce that you're like, ooh, I'm not sure I want them to know about that?
Yeah. What is that secret sauce? So that's a good question. I think that so first, it's actually not a think, it's a feel. So it's about emotion. And it's, I am such an emotional person. Like I cry every day. I cry every day. I do, because I cry during my my meditation, my prayer time, my connection time to spirit, to God, to nature is so deep and rich and powerful for me that I cry every morning, and I'm, you know, and I'm so grateful for that. And then I'm also like, when I'm in my jam, when I'm in my, you know, great place, like with my work, when I'm on location with the giants, and when I'm taking people through transformational experiences, you know, it's very emotional, and I'm very emotional. You know, I allow myself to be right there with the people that I'm, you know, serving and supporting. And I feel like that's not something that most people probably know about me. It's not my persona on Facebook. It's not, you know, unless they've been on a trip with me and, you know, we've had those moments together or something. So I'm thinking that's just the first thing that came to me.
And how does expressing the magic of your emotions, what does that influence in the people that you're serving? What does that give them that they can't get anywhere else?
Well, it lets them know, one, that they're, you know, they're okay. It lets, more than okay, I don't think it's even that. I think it's just like a permission to be me, permission to be seen as I really am, you know, in this moment, through this experience. And I think also there's something around being willing to make mistakes, like being seen making mistakes. I don't think that, I know for me, I definitely grew up in a like real competitive space. I was the child of 6. And so it was like, you know, is there enough for me? Is there room for me? Is there going to be, you know, time for me? All of that is what I grew up with. So those are the limiting beliefs that I've had to overcome. And I see that, you know, that kind of limiting belief has kept me from like being willing to show up as making a mistake. And that's the shadow side that I learned from you of the alchemist. The shadow side is the perfectionist, right? And so that perfectionist is the one that's showing up like, I got to make sure, you know, I've got all my ducks in a row and all of that. And a lot of times I end up not communicating the way that I should, or like communicating enough or in a timely manner or whatever, because I'm holding back thinking I don't have all the pieces yet. And then I'm leaving my people there going, well, what's going on? Right. And I'm over here thinking, you know, I've got all this going on over here. And I'm like, I've got all this going on. And they're like, well, we don't know that you got all this going on, because you're not communicating it. Oof, that's big for me right now. Just hitting on that.
So the magic is our perception of being magical is that I've got to show people the finished product. Like, here it is, voila.
Yep.
When in reality, the magic is actually showing people your progress and your process, and like kind of pull, like the Wizard of Oz, pulling back the curtains and showing people what's going on inside and behind the scenes, which is oftentimes the most compelling thing. And that's actually where reality TV shows came from. One of my friends is the first producer of, was it The Real World? One of the first reality TV shows. And it was like that whole concept of, let's pull back the curtain on this unscripted thing and show people the raw emotions, which are so compelling that you don't get when they're scripted. And of course it took on a life of its own, and now it's all
Scripted.
false. It's all
That's
fakery and
all.
it's all
Except
scripted.
for
But
Awakening
what you're
Giants.
except for
Which is
Awakening
not.
Giants. So
Yeah.
right, right. So what it makes me think of is that perfectionist squeezes out the magic,
Mm.
because magic is not perfect. It's alchemical. And the very nature of alchemy, if you look it up, the definition is taking base metal and coming up with an alchemical formula that transmute that base metal into gold or something precious. And if we had the formula for that, then gold would no longer be precious, because we could all just go dig up iron ore and make it into gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the magic of alchemy, is showing people your process, not after it's done, not after you've got it all prettied up and like, voila, I'm perfect, here it is, it's easy. Anybody, if you go on social media, anybody can look beautiful. I mean, that's the trend on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. Like the influencers are all like filtered up,
Yeah.
but the unfiltered reality and the unfiltered process is really the most authentic, compelling thing that moves us. So your magic, if you ask me to use my little psychic abilities, your magic is in showing people that even in the mess, there's a message.
I'm laughing because the very first line of my book that I channeled with Bubby, my beloved Karen Terrier, that the book's coming out soon as an Audible. But the very first line in the book is, "She was a mess. She was a mess when I found her." and, and yeah, that's me. Absolutely. Well,
I
you know what?
know.
You know what's interesting about the question that you asked me too, and I don't even know if you know this, but because of you, and again, the work that we've been doing together, and I've been pulling my personal brand together, that I've just started using literally 2 weeks ago, came to me, "Your magic matters."
Oh, yes.
That literally
Whoa.
just came, and that's what I've been using. And yeah, and I had no idea you were going to ask me that today. So this is the exciting thing of working with you, because you are so intuitive, and you do, it's, I think I told you my favorite part of the whole Facebook challenge that I do with you, and I've already done 2 with you, and I'll probably do the next one with you as well, is the channeling part that you do for everyone in the challenge, or for not everyone, but for certain people in the challenge. And
Yeah.
but it doesn't even matter. Like if you're channeling for somebody else, it's so profound that everyone gets something out of it. I love it.
It's interesting that you say that, because I was recently doing a series of videos with a client, a VIP client, and she's like, "You hop in front of the camera and you go first." And and the thing that came to me wasn't visibility first as a message. It was really our intuitive guidance system and how we all have the ability to channel. But the problem is if you teach people how to channel and be a psychic, it really, in my experience, it doesn't matter, because then they're going to get stuck in like, well, how do I package this and how do I label it? And so we work on visibility first, because we need to get our gifts out in the world. The world needs our magic, it needs our wisdom, it needs our power, our authority. And if we don't start with that muscle, that's the basic training that then allows us to bring in the magic into what we do. But we don't have to lead with, "I'm a magician." We lead with, "I'm going to help you get your mission and your message out there with Awakening Giants." And the dose of magic you bring to it is really this visibility empowerment, where you really see people, and being seen and being heard and having people presence that is terrifying, but it's also incredibly freeing, because as women, especially, we've worked our whole lives to gather these accomplishments, to get the education, to get the tools, to get the acknowledgement. And then when we're finally in front of the camera, it's just terrifying because the voice is like, it's not enough, it's not enough. So, what is, if you had a message as an alchemist to other people out there that have magic, what would it be that you would want to impart on people?
Oh gosh. Well, my magic wand. Phew, my magic wand is saying, yeah, just the message that I'm going to say to myself, which is, it's the same message. It's be yourself, trust in that higher mind, trust that still soft voice that is inside of you. Sometimes it might be screaming at you, because you are here for a purpose. You're here for a reason. You're here for now. Now is the most important time on the planet for you to be stepping into your power, your beauty, your magnificence, and your magic. And I love you so much. I love you so much. And I'm so grateful for everybody that is on my list, in my community, in my tribe. And so that's what I would say. And come be part of Awakening Giants too. That's the other thing. So we have new ways for you to come and be part of Awakening Giants. We're actually launching a huge virtual event for the very first time in September, and I'm terrified. So I think maybe next time we're going to talk about that. Like, I'm like, what are we doing? Before our episodes come out. So yeah. Thank you, Siddiqi. Awesome. So you guys can find out more about Siddiqi and her challenge in the link that I'm going to put below. And thanks everybody for watching me. And I have a feeling this isn't going to be the last time that I'm going to put myself on the hot seat for you, in front of you and with you. And I do love you. God bless you. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.